In Kibbutz Avaim, right, we've talked about a few core areas so far. Core area number one is the chiyuv, the obligation of kavod, and as we learned in the context of Shabbat, kavod means to appreciate the weightiness of the parent, right? So respect is not a clear word, but if I appreciate the weightiness, the importance, the significance, then it's different. Okay, so we talked about different areas of kavod. We talked about the extreme case where the father goes ahead and throws the satchel full of gold coins into the water. We talked about that case. We're going to reference that again. We talked about the case of the goy not waking his father up to sell something that was ultimately extremely valuable for the family. We talked about some practical cases on a business level, and then we talked about the concept of mora. Mora means to be in awe of. So we're going to explain mora as to be in awe of rather than to fear. We're going to say that fear means pachad, and mora with an aleph is awe. And we talked about some of that also. Okay, now we're going to move into a little bit of gray space. Okay, so you're good? You got Perek Tet? Okay, beautiful. Nechalaku b'poskim, our rabbis are of different opinions. Im shayach, if the mitzvah of kibud avayim is relative to b'davar she'eno tzorech to'olato v'hanato shel ha'av. In other words, what the father wants, he's going to get no to'elet from, he's going to get no benefit from, right? The to'elet, the ultimate benefit of this thing that he's asking the son to do, will bring no benefit to the father. So 1 second. Now we're asking an interesting question. The chabed et aviv et imo, right, means that...
I don't understand.
Okay, so...
How's he not...
Excellent. So that's exactly the point. So let's go there. So now we're going to say that, well, what do you mean? If my father wants it, there's toilet, there's purpose, and it's purposeful to him. So how are you going to tell me that if he wants it, but it's not purposeful to him? Okay, we're going to get there. Okay. Well, we're starting, the headline is that kavod, to appreciate the weightiness of a parent, means that I'm obligated to use his resources, as we learned, not mine, but his resources, generally speaking, to care for something for him that has value to him. Right? He needs medical care, he needs food, he needs a change of clothing, he needs to be taken from place A to place B. I have an obligation because of his weightiness to me, his importance to me. I have an obligation to fulfill that with his resources, unless he doesn't have, which we talked about briefly, we're going to talk about that some more, but with his resources for his benefit. Now, what if he's asking me to do doesn't benefit him at all? He has no to'elet. He has no purpose with it. Let's see. The hanato, and he has no benefit from it. But 1 second. You might say, Ham Yitzchak, you might say, the to'elet or the hana'ah is that I'm fulfilling his wishes. There doesn't have to be anything beyond that. You might simply say, put it in a narrow box and say, listen, if my father asked me to do something, the to'elet, the purpose is for him that he's my father and he asked me, and the benefit to him is that I'm his son and I respected it and got it done. Maybe it doesn't have to be any more than that. Well, maybe that's enough, in which case, whatever the father asks, if the father is benefiting from it, then the son would have to do it. Again, not something illegal or against halakha or anything like that. We're not talking about anything like that. But the rabbis are not clear on that. Meaning, if there is no to'elet, if there is no value other than the fact, hi, good morning, welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, okay.
New spot?
Hi, this is our new spot, yeah.
Right next to the crime scene.
Next to the
Yeah, right next to the crime scene, yeah. How's your trip? You're great.
Thank you.
Where'd you go? What countries? What cities?
Cities in France. Menton, Monte Carlo, Saint-Tropez, like the whole.
Wow. Amazing.
Thank God. Really nice.
You look fabulous, Joe. Good.
Nice to come
Good.
back.
Welcome back. Okay, so what do we got? We're making a distinction here. We're saying that the to'elet to the father, the purpose or the benefit to the father, is not quantifiable other than the fact that he asked you to do it. In other words, if the father asks the son to bring him the coffee, there's a quantifiable benefit. The father wants the coffee. Very good. But if the father asks the son to check out the brand of coffee, just having no intention to buy it, invest in it, nothing like that. Just it's a lark, it's a thing. Does the child have to answer it? Does he have to do it? He's going to be taking away his time from something else. So there's no to'elet, there's no quantifiable benefit to the father by the son fulfilling his wishes. Okay, al pi halacha, according to Jewish law. No, we didn't answer it yet. We're asking the question. Do we have to do it or not? Let's give a few examples. Kigon, for example, Shomer lo al tiknes sadeh plonit or bayit ploni. I don't want you to buy this field. I don't want you to buy this house. I don't know. I just don't want you to do it. Im yesh bazeh mitzvat kibud ab v'em or lo? Is there a mitzvah of kibud ab v'em or not? Again, the field is in a different city. The father is not worried about the child's loss of money. It's not going to negatively impact him in a quantifiable way. Isaac, that's the thing, right? Not quantifiable, right? If it's quantifiable, we have something to talk about. But if it's not quantifiable, it's just a wish of the father, right? You know something, don't buy that field. Yeah?
It's, even in the back of his head, maybe it's a feeling.
Exactly.
You know, so he's fulfilling his wish. That's the toilet.
Very nice. So Chacham Oded would say, I know what you're talking about. To me, he says, this is clear, and this doesn't broaden or go outside the context, doesn't go outside the context of what we've been learning until now. We learned respect, we learned awe, and if this is what my father asks, it falls into the category of respect and awe, whether there's a quantifiable, hold that term clearly in your mind, a quantifiable benefit or not. Yeah?
Quantifiable to which degree? So where, again, obviously we always want to respect our fathers and our mothers, but where is that line if there's no...
That's exactly the question. How do we define, Joe, the term quantifiable? How do you want to define it?
Very difficult.
It's perfect. That's exactly where we are. It's very difficult. Does quantifiable mean he feels better as a result of me listening to him, and that's that? Or does quantifiable have to mean that there's something you can quantify? Something you could, so let's see.
Take it to the end game.
What's that?
Take it to the end game. And 5 years later, you have an opportunity to buy that property that he told you not to buy. How is he going to feel that you bought that property?
That you bought it or you didn't buy it?
No, you bought it.
That you bought it?
He told you on a
don't
whim.
buy it.
What you saying on a whim, Joe, go see what coffee they make. But now he told you don't buy that field or house.
Right.
I'm buying the block, you know, Bezat Hashem, whatever. And the house that he said not to buy, because he thought it's EBGB, voodoo,
right.
haunted, whatever,
right.
I buy.
Right.
How is he going to feel?
Okay, good. That's exactly the question.
So that koshers just by respecting his word.
It could be that there'll be a round two, and it could be. So let's see. But that Rov HaPoskim, most of the rabbis say, she'en bazeh mitzvat kibud avein. So that if it's something where you can't quantify the benefit to the father, hi honey, good morning. Waiting for you. Not really waiting for you. Right, how was Shabbat Sunday? Nice?
Good, thank God.
Okay, turn this way so I can see you, yeah. Okay, so most of the rabbis say En bazeh mitzvat kibud av ve'en. Why? Because there's nothing mashmauti here. There's nothing substantive here. Good. ואין הבן חייב לשמוע לאביו ובפרט במקום שיש לו צער. Right? Eddie? And if the son is going to be caused pain by it, because there's nothing substantive or quantifiable, he doesn't have to listen to dad. Good morning, honey. You know what? Sit next to Eddie. He has your book. He doesn't have to listen to dad. Okay, so far? We'll catch you back up in a minute. Okay. Aval, bistam. Now you have the kicker. Ready, Joe? Now you have the kicker. Okay? Aval bistam, lo yimnam lekayem sivoy aviv. Now what do you want to do? Okay. Okay. Rephrase the question. Lo yimna melekayem sivoy aviv. But generally speaking, I should fulfill what my father wants. Okay. Al pi halacha, top line. Chacham, you with me? Al pi halacha, top line. But the responsibility to respect or be in awe of a father is when that respect or awe, and I want you to own the formula, when the respect or awe can be translated into something quantifiable. Joe, I could put a dollar amount. I could put a physical object. I could put a change in reality, right? I want you to put in your mind that the kavod or the awe, top line, means I can quantify the request in practical, measurable results. It's a big deal. This is a big deal concept here, right? And therefore, top line, if the father says, you know what, son, I have nothing to do with real estate anymore. I don't really care about this thing in Oklahoma, but I don't know. I would suggest you don't buy it. In fact, I would tell you, I'd rather you not buy it. Has nothing to do with the father. It's not his money. He will never be involved with it. Do I have to listen or not? Top line says you have to listen. Because you know what? Even though it's not something substantive or quantifiable, because I have this catch-all obligation to respect my father, it means to respect his wishes. Right? Okay.
If it causes me pain, I don't have to.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
No, top line was enough.
Because I can't take it back. Sorry, take it back. I'm gonna come to that point in a minute. Because it's not quantifiable or measurable, I don't have to respect his wishes. Thank you. But now we circle back, and most of the rabbis say that. Correction. Most of the rabbis say that. But we circle back and we say, but because stam, we have a stam, just a generalized obligation to respect our father, we should probably do it anyway. Then the rabbi said, "U'midat chasidut b'chol ofen yesh lachush lemale et sonam." And from a midat chasidut perspective, going beyond the letter of the law, more saintly approach, maybe we should do it. So let's go back. Thank you, Isaac, for the correction. As we learned, top line, if there's no practical benefit to the father, it's outside of the context of Kibud Avim. Kibud Avim is talking about his needs. He doesn't have a need. This is not about clothing or food or comfort or shelter. It's not about anything like that. Right? And therefore, if it's something outside of that, I don't have to listen to it. Circle back and say, well, wait a minute. Maybe there's a general thing here where, generally speaking, regardless of the context and the circumstances, if my father asked me to do something, my father asked me to do something. And by the way, what about midat chasidut? What about that more saintly extra effort that a person should try to make when he can? Now, pause. Case comes to this Beit Din, right? Not a Beit Din. The case comes to this group of rabbis. You're all sitting around the Beit Midrash, and a very nice young man walks in. He says, "Rabbis, listen. I love my father. I take care of him. I understand the rewards of Kibud Av Va'em. And I understand the importance of it. And I try to be very matmid on this thing. It's very top of mind for me. So when my father needed to be driven to Florida, and because he didn't want to fly, I drove him. When my father wanted to move the apartment, even though he really didn't need that size apartment, I took care of it. When my father needed to work through this issue and that, I did it. I'm right there on this halakha. But now my father is asking me to do something which really has no toilet. There's no benefit to it. Now, I'm here for two reasons. Either show me the benefit that I may not see, in which case I'm in. I'll do it. If you can quantify a benefit for me, I'll do it, because then it would fall in the context of kavod or morah. So A, I'm asking you to do that because maybe there's something I don't see here. B, if we can figure out together that there's a benefit, tell me if I should keep it or not. Rabbis, what do you want to do?
No, you know my position. You have to do it.
Okay, Hamoded weighs in, the first rabbi to weigh in, and he says, yeah?
You have to do it.
You have to do it. Why?
Because you don't know his inner thought, you don't know the reason, and it's got to be something that's going to be, I don't know. I have an example, kind of an example.
Thank you.
My mother, Shalom, when she was around, she had to be taken to the doctor for a simple appointment.
The mother had to be taken to the doctor to a simple appointment. Yeah. Simple means a checkup kind of thing.
No problem. A driver will be there in 5 minutes or 10, whatever. Oh no, I don't want to go. Where do you want to go? Why? She wanted somebody from the family to pick her up. She didn't want to. She didn't
Perfect.
want the limo driver.
Perfect. Chamsion, you ready? Perfect. Say it one more time quickly. What is the case?
I had to go to the doctor, and she called me up. I have to go to the doctor. I have an appointment this time, and the way she says it, like, she won't tell me that's the reason she doesn't want to go. I'm not going to go. I said, why are you not going to go? I said, I'll have a driver pick you up in 10 minutes. No, I can't go. Okay, Joey will come. I'm leaving work. I'm passing the area. I'll come. Oh, okay, I'll come.
Okay, beautiful. There you go. There you go.
It happened a few times. And I realized...
Isaac, what do you say, honey? What did you say? Does Joey have to make himself available to go pick her up and take her? Or can we send the car? Yeah.
There's a quantifiable benefit there.
There's a quantifiable benefit you hold, yeah, which is?
Which is she feels comfortable going to the doctor, which will extend her health.
Okay. You hear what Chaim Yitzchak is saying, right? He's saying, this outside the context of this halakha. You're telling me, Rabbi Oded, that it's inside the context of this halakha. I'm holding not. You know why I'm holding not? Because he's holding, if I understand your point, that she, mom, is getting an emotional benefit from this thing.
100%.
Right, that's what's hard to calculate, right? Somebody else's emotional benefit sometimes. It's not, you may not look at it, but they may see it, so.
Very nice. Okay, so 1 second. So they're getting an emotional benefit. Mom is feeling more secure, right? She's feeling more loved. Let's say that. It's not even about feeling more secure. She's feeling more loved, and she wants this extra shot of love today. What do you say?
So that's why I said you have to do it. So
That's why you hold you have to do it.
Now,
Very
if
good.
you're saying what you're saying about the emotional benefit, that goes back to my point when you said don't buy the house in Oklahoma, because 3 years later, if you do buy the house in Oklahoma, his emotion is going to say, he didn't listen to me. I told him not to buy.
You didn't listen to me, and therefore he's going to be
He's gonna feel upset.
affronted by it.
Hurt,
Right.
upset,
Hurt,
whatever.
upset, disrespected.
Exactly.
Right, good. So Gemara Masechet Kiddushin, he brings here, look below, just right on the top, Tanura Banan, Ezu Mora ve'ezu Kavod. What are we going to call the awe, and what are we going to call respect of a parent? Ma'achil provides the food, Mashke, the drink, Malbish, the clothing, Mechaseh, the shelter, Machnis Motzi, brings and takes. Brings and takes. So the the Shulchan Aruch brings down, he's quoting it here, the kol mashma the kol ikar mitzvat kibud avaim hu davka bedugmaot shegemara matzah lenachon lahavi. Aval dvarim she'en bahem hana'a yeshira. Here's where the flex language comes in. En bahem mitzvat kibud avaim. So the Gemara is listing very practical, tangible benefits that a child is obligated to do in the context of kabod avaim. Food, shelter, transport. Right? We learned already from Sadaracha, we qualified it to say, that all those things have to come from the resources of the parent. Now, if the parent doesn't have the resources, we said, what's the child's obligation? Okay, it's a question. Does he still have the obligation to do it from perspective of Kibud Avaim? Maybe not. Does he have the obligation to do it from a perspective of tzedakah? Probably yes. So there still be an obligation, but it comes from a different jacket, right? Let's say for now. Let's just say, put that in that for now. But for now, our assumption is that it's food, shelter, transport from mom and dad's resources, right? That's the headline obligation, Joe, right? Good. Now, I have something that's outside of that context that my parent wants me to do. If you're going to tell me that it's limited to those, which Shulchan Aruch seems to be saying it is, then I don't have to do it.
That's a very small area.
That's a very narrow area. Yeah, go on.
If your parents want you to even read a book about something, it's not in that area.
Well, if he wants to read a book. So do I have to get up and get him the book?
No.
He wants you to read a book.
Me to read a book about something.
He wants us.
He tells me, go read that book.
Yes.
And it's going to bring him pleasure that you're reading the book. Good. So what did we learn until now? Based on how we learned it, you would say, no, Sion?
You said it's only food.
What we just said here. But now go back to the last couple of classes. What would you say? Last couple of classes, he says, I want you to read the book. What would you say? You'd say you'd read the book.
In terms of halacha, no, but in terms of yes, it's two different scenarios.
Beautiful. It's two different scenarios. So black and white in the narrow box of where the Gemara is bringing it down, we're going to say black and white, I don't have to do it. But 1 second. Didn't you tell me about morah, about being in awe? Didn't you tell me about not being mevazeh, not being disrespectful in my thoughts? Didn't you tell me about that also? About not being disrespectful in my mind? Didn't you tell me about all those things? Didn't you tell me about the story of Demai, who won't wake his father up to get to keep? Didn't you tell me all those things? What do you want me to do with all that? Is that quantifiable to the same extent as this?
The whole story has
Of
no-
Dima, I'm sorry. Yeah?
I'm saying the whole story of the stone under his head sleeping has
Right.
nothing to do with.
So let's go with the pecking order. It appears as follows. From the pure black and white context of kabod and morah, I'm not obligated. Drop down. From the spirit of the law, and I think this is where you were, Eddie, the spirit of the law, of course I'm obligated. What's the point of giving him food and shelter? It's not to throw the food at him, right? The point of giving him shelter is to show him my love and my attentiveness and my involvement and my commitment. That's the point, right? Oh, he has to eat,
Yeah,
but
with the father's money. That's,
and right.
You got to point out that's his father's money also.
Yeah. But now what about the spirit of the law? The spirit of the law would say, my parents' needs are my responsibility the same way for the first X number of years of my life, my needs were their responsibility. And they didn't qualify what they gave to me by saying, you know what, by the sheer letter of the law, I the heck with this. My parent didn't do that. So by the spirit of the law, you would think, of course I have to go drive him, to your example, right? Or of course I have to respect what he wants.
The first thing you're saying, what you have to do, is the same as you have to do for Ayah,
You have to do
for a
it?
slave.
Right.
You have to give him food, you have to give him shelter, and you have to transport
No,
him to
not,
him.
not
Okay.
that-
But you
not
don't
that
have to give
category.
him respect, in other words, to a point
Enslavement
where
would be different.
don't
Right.
wake him up.
That's why he's saying this has to be better than it has to be greater than a slave. That's what Eddie's point is.
Exactly.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
do you quantify the spirit of the law?
How do you quantify the spirit of the law? That's exactly what the rabbis are struggling with here. How do you quantify the spirit of the law? Grand slam. You said it perfectly.
Your personal
Now,
feeling.
okay. Now we have a thing. Is it my personal feeling, Joe?
No.
So you're going to do one thing, he's going to do something, I'm going to do something else?
That's right.
Is that what we want to say?
Yeah.
This is where the good stuff comes. This is where the great stuff comes. If you're going to tell me the black and white, do I have to support his physical needs? Of course I do. Of course, right? That's not the spirit of the law. That's the letter of the law. Now, Sion, right? Now we're in the discussion of the spirit of the law.
The spirit of the law feels more above and beyond.
It feels above and beyond. So am I obligated or not obligated?
I don't know where. I don't know where the end is.
Where is the end? Good.
I have no idea where.
For sure.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
So that's your personal feeling. That's again, it's each one individual.
It's more than that. It's,
Okay.
it's your parents' feelings. You have to consider your parents' feelings more than your own.
I have to consider my parents' feelings more than my own?
Sometimes
This
it's hard.
just said, as long as there's a quantifiable benefit, meaning my father, my mother will get X from my action, beyond they're gonna feel respected.
Okay.
Right? That's
No,
what it
beyond
said.
feeling.
Beyond feeling.
Because I was with the customers thing.
Exactly. His example.
They're getting the
Makes them
benefit they
feel
need for that.
comfortable.
They're getting the benefit.
But the
Listen,
feeling.
Eddie's example is a fabulous example. It's a fabulous example. It's really right on target, right? I hired the driver to pick you up. And by the way, nobody's talking about this, but it came from my money, not yours, Mom. Came from my money, not yours. Hi, honey. Came from my money. Come sit here. Right? Yeah? Good. So now you don't want that. You want me to drive you. You want a family member to drive you. By the way, let's compound the story a little bit. The family member is not allowed in the doctor's office. He has a thing, let's make this up, that family member can't come in. Family member is going to walk you to the door and sit in the car. That's our case. What do you want to do? Do you have the obligation from kavod? Let's be black and white halakha for a minute. From a pure black and white kavod perspective, does it appear that we have the obligation, Joe, yes or no? Black and white. Don't give me the gray.
No.
Beautiful. Black and white, beautiful.
I have
Bla-
one question.
Huh?
I only have one question in the scenario: is how much pain does it cause you to do it? Meaning, are you losing out on a crazy whatever that's gonna set up your family? Then-
Let's assume not.
So this is
Let's
not-
assume not. Huh?
Then okay, of course.
No, but I don't want you to go with the okay, of course. I want you to go with the black and white first.
No, I lost a lot. I used to leave work in the middle of
morning.
work because I had to go drive. So she
Okay, all right, so then, okay, before we get to the loss of money, because the loss of money might change the answer, on a kavod level, we don't have a black and white obligation, right? Right. What about the being in awe level? Isaac, what do you say, honey? Being in awe. Not respect, but awe, which is more subtle, which is less tangible. Do I have an obligation from the awe, from the morah perspective? What would you say? What do you think? You do? Okay. So this...
Or you're doing it anyway. You do nothing without thinking.
What does awe mean? Okay. What does awe mean? Awe means I'm putting the person on a pedestal, right?
Right.
I'm putting the person on a pedestal, and it's a different level of sensitivity, but we don't know how to qualify it exactly. Yeah.
How much of a difference of obligation is there between the actual al pi halacha versus the spirit of the law, and how much of the spirit of the law do I have to follow?
Okay, very good. So we're going to say, first we're trying to assess it al pi halacha. Al pi halacha, we're saying, this Beit Midrash so far is saying that al pi halacha of kavod, we don't have to do it.
So that's the first hierarchy.
First hierarchy. In the context of kavod, black and white kavod, we don't have to do this. Good. Context of black and white morah, or, Sion, do we have to do it or not? Okay, Hamsion says, from the context of awe, similar to what you said, right, Isaac? From the context of awe is less tangible. So from the context of awe, being in awe of a parent, we're going to say that if a parent asks me to do something that they get no benefit from, From the context of or, I have to do it. Good. Okay? Now he adds here, so he says, from the context of halakha, whether it be kavod or, I don't have to do it. Some people would say, like you do, Tzion, from the concept of or, I should. And there are a number of opinions that way, and that's strong. But others say, you know what, really, black and white, kavod or morah, I don't have to do it. But from the spirit of the law, primarily morah, from the spirit of the law, and midat chasidut, right, where who you're going to be more inclined to act with midat chasidut more than your parents, I should do it. All right?
Emotional. You have no emotional. The first way you're saying, which is the law, there's no emotion or feelings involved.
Right, no emotional feelings, black and white.
Because once you bring the emotional feelings involved,
You're going to do it. You're going to do it.
the case.
You're going to do it. Okay, then what about if it costs you money? What about if it costs you money? Do you have to do it? What does he need?
If you have money, do it.
Isaac, what does he need, honey?
It's okay, keep going.
I think I must use the bathroom here.
Let him use there's another one down the hall. What were you saying? If it costs you money.
If you have money, yeah, why not? Put it.
If you have money, why not? But do you have to do it do you have to do it if it's going to cost you money?
Which is the case where they don't get benefit.
Huh? Yeah,
They
huh?
don't get benefit.
They're not getting benefit. They're not getting the benefit that we articulated in Shulchan Aruch. They're not getting that benefit.
So what about me?
What about me? Tell me, what about me?
Haven't I the primary beneficiary of performing, honoring my parents?
I'm the primary beneficiary of honoring my parents in terms of the reward, right?
Yeah, anything. They're not getting the benefit, but for me internally.
Okay, if I want the benefit, which was what we said earlier, if I want the benefit, I'm going to do it, right? But am I going to get the same level of benefit of something that I'm obligated to do, or is it something I'm not obligated to do? Okay.
Yeah, it's like Shabbat. You could keep Shabbat, but not have honored. You know what I mean?
Let's do one more element of it. Yesh mishomer ima'ab sivat ben eze davar. Turn a couple of pages ahead, Isaac. Yesh mishomer. There's an opinion that says ima'ab sivat ben. The father obligated the son. The eze davar she'en la'av hana'a yishira mimenu. The father is not getting a direct benefit. Aval imaben lo yikayem sivoy ha'av yeh la'av tza'ad gadol mizeh. Eddie, this is your case. The parent is not getting a quantifiable benefit from me doing it. I can't quantify the benefit in the context of the 5 or 6 things that the Gemara lists and Shulchan Aruch stamps as being the criteria, right? But on the other hand, mom said she wants a family member to drive me, right? And she's going to feel bad if not.
Rabbi, I think the older guys, like guys like us, right? To me, it looks like awe is like kind of like disappearing these days. Like we had, right?
The kid don't care.
No, awe was wow. We felt it today. I don't see it anywhere.
Exactly. That's exactly why
I think it's hard to. Like,
That's exactly why we're learning this,
Yeah.
because we want to bring the awe back. No, we really want to bring the awe back. And again, not for us. So our children are going to be better people. Our children are going to be happier people. They're not where they need. This is not, from our perspective of learning it, it's a lot about the parents, but from my perspective, it's a lot more about our children, because they will be better children. When you're in awe of a parent, you're a better child. When you don't allow yourself to feel frustration with a parent, or that you're being inconvenienced by something. And when you walk into the room and you kiss your father's hand, you're a better person. Your view of the world is different. You're more aware, you're kinder, you're smarter. All of those things. So to your point exactly, the awe side is the biggest side of the story. And therefore we might hold, we're sitting in the Beit Midrash now, right? We're going to hold that from the awe side, and this is where you started, from the awe side, you get it done. Right? You might tell me that in the kavod side, which is more black and white, It's not one of the things listed as a practical benefit, but as an emotional benefit, as a mental benefit, and by the way, to help the overall context of me building a better kid, I want it done. So you might say, you know what, I'll be black and white halakha. You don't have to drive yourself, you could send the driver. But today's day and age, in today's terms, you drive yourself. Your son, get up and do it. That's a very valid thing to say. You know, there's a thing, it's not exactly related, but when we were beginning to teach young adults a number of years ago, they would often bring up this Hasidic story, not Hasidic, it's brought down in the Gemara and so on, that people should walk around with two notes in their pocket, so to speak, right? One note saying that that a person was created in the image and likeness of God, and the other note saying that Anochi afar va'efer, that I'm nothing more than the dust of the earth, right? One note in one pocket, the other note in the other pocket. So I took a very strong position that to throw out the second note, if it even got to their pocket, it must be thrown out. Must be thrown out and never put back in. Why? Because it goes to your point. In this generation, people are striving to claim a sense of self-confidence and self-love. We're not in a generation where we have to talk ourselves down and tell ourselves we're trash and nothing. When we get to that point, we'll talk about putting the note back in. But these days, our struggle is the opposite, that I was created in the image and likeness of God. That's the struggle that people have. They don't have a struggle about Anochi afar va'efer, I'm the dust of the earth, I mean nothing, I have no value. That's not what our children are struggling with, right? They feel that way. They feel that way already, unfortunately. And what we want more than anything is for them to feel a resilient and relentless sense of self-love. So, to your point, today, these days, because the morah side, the awe side, the more subtle elements are being pushed aside, particularly because we complicate things by doing business with our children, and because the trajectories now are such that a child can have much more financial success than a father could be. We have another challenge that when a child has more Torah learning than a father, right?
But we want that.
Huh?
But we want that.
And we want it. Exactly. We want it very much. But when
both ways, financially and Torah.
we want it both ways, excellent. So the child has, and therefore, we have to be very makpid on the morah thing. Listen, son, I want you to be a bigger ben Torah than I am. Of course you do. To your point, beautiful. I want you to make more money than I did, God willing. Of course I do. But if you ever transgress the line, then you're breaking one of the most important fundamentals in Judaism. Somebody sent me something to view a number of years ago. They wanted to publish something where they effectively wrote how advanced their generation was with Torah and learning, as so far beyond what preceded them. So they sent me this article, and they said, would you write a little something on it? We want to publish it. I said, this is unadulterated garbage. I told them it's a lie, it's immature, and it's garbage. They were shocked. It's not my style, right? It's not my style. I said, you have no sense of where you came from, or who built you to this point, or who gave you this opportunity. No. We claimed it all. We made the money. We earned the Torah. What our fathers did for us, what our mothers did for us, what our great-grandfathers did for us has no value. So we need, in our generation, and to your point, where we want our children very, very much to have more Torah than we have. And we want them to have more wealth and success than we have. Fabulous. So we have to break their heads on this issue. We have to break their heads. You know what? You're going to kiss my hand every time you see me, not only on Shabbat. You're going to stand up every time I walk into the room. You will never, ever sit in my chair. Why? Because the awe element today It's fleeting. It's almost non-existent, right? And that's a problem. The same way, in a certain sense, we have to deal with the sensibility of the time and not have a note in our pocket, so to speak, that I'm a nothing. We also have to deal with the sensitivity of the time and have a big red flashing sign in our face that says we have to be more demanding than ever in this issue, not for us, for our children. Yeah.
So I would say in this case, the spirit of the law is above the al pi halacha.
Right. You would say, in this case, the spirit of the law rules. Very good. You would say the spirit of the law rules. And therefore, even though my father is not getting, example, my father and mother is not getting a quantifiable benefit in the context of the Gemara or the Shulchan Aruch, I still have to do it. Yeah?
Depending on the times.
Depending on?
Depending on the times and what's going on in reality.
Okay, good. Okay.
The reality is Sion wants his kid to make more money than him.
That's right.
Until he doesn't listen to his father, how to
Then
go
break
to the
his
next
head.
step. Exactly why, because he makes so money, he doesn't have to listen to you anymore to make money.
Right, so
That's disrespectful.
Okay, that's a big
the thing.
I got news for
problem.
you. They don't make a move without you. I'll give you that one.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay, so you're holding the line, but there's a line. You
The same
understand?
thing with
Of
learning,
course you
money
want
and
it.
learning, right? Knowing more.
You
You know,
want them to
sometimes somebody
succeed,
gets
of course,
more,
but there's-
called the
there's
word,
guys
and
that
I hate the word,
succeed in
religious,
this-
than their parents.
Right.
Now, they're,
Understand?
a lot of times they cross a line.
Right.
It's a very, right, sensitive.
That's why Chacham Ovadia Yosef writes something fantastic in the first halakha of this book. He writes something fantastic, which is, of course, Ham Yitzchak, which he's quoting from Shulchan Aruch. He says that the last month before the Ben Azmanim time periods, when the boys leave the kollalim or yeshivot, the last month before every break, there should be a seder of kibbud av va'em. One second. This is the guy who's learning all day. Shouldn't he get it? Yeah, he should get it. And he does. But he needs to get it more. So for the month before the Ben Azmanim break, when people are going to go back home and spend a lot more time with their parents, there should be a seder, a learning track on kibbud av va'em. For who? Not for the businessman. Of course it should be for him. But for the kollel guy. Incredible. First halakha.
Yeah.
It's very,
We
very...
have a saying. I mean, if a phone comes, natan stira laganan.
Say that again. What is it?
In Hebrew, the saying is, "V'lafafon kam v'natan stira laganan." The cucumber got up and smacked the gardener. Meaning the gardener's the father.
Yeah.
Now he's a big cucumber.
That's great. That's great.
And that's how they say it.
That is
Don't
great.
forget where you came from.
Don't forget where you came from. Okay. אם הבן לא יקיים ציווי האב, יהיה לאב צער גדול מזה, בזה לכולי עלמא יש רתמת כיבוד אב ואם. If the father tells the son, I don't want you to buy the field in Oklahoma, so to speak, and on a black and white level, in terms of the quantifiable elements of providing for the father, the son doesn't have to listen. But if the son knows that the father will be upset by it, he has to listen. If he knows Sa'ad Gadol, now you're going to tell me, and it's a very good point, how do you want to quantify Sa'ad Gadol? If he's going to have a lot of pain from it, comes the question, right? בזה לכולי עמל יש מצוות כיבוד אב ואם, ויש אומרים דבחות גבנה כל שאין לאב הנאה ישירה מהדבר, אף אם יהיה לו צער, אין חיוב לציית לאביו מצד כיבוד אב ואם, ונראה להחמיר כסברה ראשונה. Really, Maran is back and forth on it, and he says, on the one hand, it has to be quantifiable. It can't be, just thing, because on the other hand, if you're going to really cause the father real distress by doing it, you shouldn't do it. So, a hard one, right? On a black and white financial issue, quantifiable goods and services, so to speak, issue which I have to provide for my father, this is totally outside of that context. If my father doesn't really care, it was a one-off remark, I don't have to think about it. But if my father really feels strongly about it, now I'm in the gray zone. It's not quantifiable, and therefore I'm not black and white halachically obligated to it, but it is about how he feels, So now I have to struggle with it. Is it come under the context of Morah or not? It may or may not. Is it come under the context of Midat Hasidut? It clearly would come under the context of Midat Hasidut. The question is, how far do I have to go with that?
What if it stresses you?
What's that?
What if it puts a stress on you to do it with
To fulfill it.
Yeah.
If fulfilling it puts stress on you. What do you want to say? Very, very nice. Beautiful question.
We just read it before.
What's that?
We read it before.
If it puts stress on you, then what?
It depends on how much sa'ad it is, right?
Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
No?
If a father buys his son a house, but the wife never wants to live in that part of Brooklyn, for example.
He has to listen to his wife.
That's great. Great question. Great question.
Father's gonna be
Great.
very upset if the son doesn't move into the house, but that's going to cause stress with the son and his wife.
But he has to listen to his wife.
Okay, give me the halachic criteria for that. Very nice. The father tells the son, I'm going to help you buy this house in this spot. The wife says, it's very, very far from my parents. I appreciate what your father's doing, but I really don't want to live there. Now what do you do? Joe, what would you do?
Probably happens every day. This
Probably happens every day. It's a great example.
Great example.
Sion, what would you do?
I need to understand that.
You heard the case? The father wants to buy the son a house. Very, very nice. Son, very, very
It's a berachat for the.
right, beautiful. But it's far, very far from the wife's family, and she doesn't want to live there. Should
You can't.
You have to listen to the wife.
No, it doesn't have to. He doesn't have to buy it like that.
Prices you
doesn't have to buy it?
with the house prices.
They,
You just
they,
take the house.
they have to want it. You can't go against your
Sell it.
daughter, even though sometimes we find a beautiful house East 31st Street, Jiddiesville. They want to buy it. I don't want it there. You know what
Okay,
I mean? I
very
want it
good.
next door.
So halachically, does the son have what is the son supposed to do? Al pi halacha. You're right. Common sense wise, right. But al pi halacha, how do you want to weave this one through? What do you want to do? The father says, I'm putting the money down. This is it. It's a great deal. Guess what? It's okay. Your wife will get used to it. It's a great house out of it.
Yes, but in reality, no.
Okay.
No,
Why? Okay, fine. Why no?
because we said shelter. Nothing to do. Oh well.
Right. Al pi halacha, black and white halacha. Why is it yes? Why is it yes? You're making a very good point.
No, I made a U-turn now because you could be causing your father stress.
Because you're causing your father stress. Okay, is that right?
I mean, I think
Yeah,
this
yeah,
example
yeah,
is
you're
like
right.
in the real world, you're putting, God forbid, you're putting your marriage in danger by making your wife upset, very upset about a big decision like that.
You're making your wife upset. Yeah. So you should do it or you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it because you're making your wife upset, right?
I don't know. I haven't made up my mind.
Okay, Sion, what do you say?
That's why you have a wife, to make up your mind. You have to listen to the wife.
You have to listen to your wife. So
Otherwise, Stevie, to live on your
So
side.
give it to me in the context of the halacha. Give me the parameters. Is it bringing a direct benefit to your father? It is not. So from the perspective of kavod, I don't have to do it. It is not bringing a direct benefit to my father. I'm going to own the home. Any financial benefit is going to come to me. It is absolutely not, and it's not the basic care necessities that I have to provide. Check. So from the perspective of kavod, I don't have to listen. From the perspective of morah, of being in awe, do I have to listen?
It's no, because it's direct conflict with my wife, with myself.
It's
My
direct.
wife is one, so it's gonna my household problem. No, there's no.
Are you asking about
even if
all
I'm
or the wife?
We're,
He's talking about all.
we're talking about awe. So from perspective of awe, what do you want to say?
Or I'm in awe of my wife more than my father.
I would hold kibud avayim once you get married is you and your wife.
Huh?
I would hold kibud avayim once you get married is you and your wife. You have to have respect for you and your wife too. You have to have all of the marriage.
You have to
Just
be.
you have to have all of your mother and father. You have to have all of you as a father and you as a mother, husband and wife.
Okay, so we're holding here. Everybody is holding, right? Joe, where are you holding on this?
I'm having a hard time right now.
All right. It's,
Why is it not kivud? Your father will benefit by having his son live near him and go for Shabbat dinner and go for.
What do I say about that? The father lives all the way. What'd you say, Judithville? I haven't heard that term in a long time. I miss that word. That's one of those great words that we don't say enough anymore.
Perfect example. My son Steven lives on East Third. I live on East 23rd, and I went to a bigger house, much bigger, next to me, than over there. But his wife didn't wants to be next to her mother. I stepped away. I said, okay, do what you have to do. Listen to your wife. It's simple. And it would have been much financially better for him to come next to me. Besides, other helps. But he listened to his wife.
Okay.
Not that he's in awe of me, but he's...
So let's see. Let's give a case here. It might be related. Im sivado aviv shelo yitbod. We'll go a little further with this case. The father told him, "Don't go into this mikveh mehashash ben yitztanin, that the sun would freeze." He tells him, "Don't go in the cold plunge." Right? Or shesiva alav shelo limod et beno ba'atzmo mehashash shelo yimod hatev. He tells him, "Don't do the circumcision on your son. I know you were trained to be a mohel. Don't do the circumcision on your son, which is my grandson, because I'm afraid." Okay, you're okay at it, but this other guy's been doing it for 10 years, you've been doing it for a year, something like that. What does that mean? מאחר שאין בזה תועלת ישירה לאב בעצמו. בעיקר הדין אין כאן מצוות כיבוד אב ואם.
No benefit.
The Benkar Adin, from the core of the law, from the essential element of the law, right? There's no direct benefit to the father. The son doesn't have to listen, right? Okay, but let's see. מכל מקום, אם רואה שאביו או אמו מצטערים ודואגים על בריאותו, או אם יטבול בחורף, יש לשמור להם, כדי שלא יגרום להם צער. What does that mean?
It means emotionally it does have a direct connection, and if it's going to cause them an issue, they have to listen. It's exactly what we said.
Beautiful. So now go back to your house example. What do you want to do? It's going to, he says, the father is worried, Sion, that if he goes in the cold plunge, or if he does he's going to get sick, or he's going to hurt the child, right? So he says, Yesh lo lishmoa lahem kedei shelo ligrom lahem tza'ar. To not cause them pain. What do you want to do? He says you should listen. No? What do you want to do? How do you want to call this?
The first one's very different than the second one.
First one is very different. How?
Because the first one is your safety in your father's opinion. So what if your father is scared of planes? You're not allowed to go on a plane?
Right. Right. And when he says the words that he says nachon, right? It's a good idea to do this. Nachon I'm sorry. Yesh lo lishmoa. Kedei sheyot yigrom lahem tza'ar. Should listen so it doesn't cause them tza'ar. How far do you want to go with this? My wife doesn't want to live in this house. She's not going to be happy. She's not going to be happy. Okay, what do you want to do? How far do you want to go? What do you think?
Earlier in the conversation when we were saying that the parents, they gave us everything and they know what's best for us, do we lean on that or we lean on what the wife wants?
Exactly, that's the question. So what do you want to do?
But you're saying here it's going to cause the father pain, not the child pain.
Yeah, it's going to cause the father pain.
Okay, so...
It's causing the father pain. Look, you just expressed it. You just expressed it, right?
Understood, but here, what you just said is because the son is going to be in pain.
No, he's afraid, the father is afraid that the son is going to be in pain. The father is afraid that if the son doesn't take this house, he's going to regret it in a year when the value goes up by 10%.
Well, I was probably this guy.
You would what?
I was this guy. Me. This story is me.
Which part?
Well, the house. My wife, when I got married, my wife didn't want to live in the house that we were buying at the time. That's what we could afford. Her parents lived all the way on Avenue W, and she'd rather
Bought the
rent,
house or no?
she'd rather rent a house closer to her mother, and then not live here. She goes, "Oh, maybe we'll rent something." I said, "Well, I can't afford something on that side," and yeah, I bought the house anyway. And you know, you know how many times she said, "Thank God you didn't listen to me."
Okay,
'Cause
but what if your
thousands-
father told you to buy the house and you really didn't want the house either? That's our case. Very nice. But that's our case. You aren't thrilled about being on East 31st Street, right? You're not thrilled about being over there. You don't really want the house either. What do you want to do? Does it fall, let's go this way. We'll wrap in 2 minutes. Does it fall under the black and white 5 or 6 criteria of the obligation I have to give to my father? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, that's a given. So now we're in that or space. Right, now we're in the or space. Very, very hard. This is very, very, by the way, this is very, very hard for the father, and it's very, very hard for the son. This is really the toughest place.
Yeah, because it's the father is showing care for the son. It's
Exactly.
not because of it for himself.
Fabulous.
That's why.
This is coming only from love. Love of the father to the son. And by the way, the father's making a sacrifice. He's taking his money and making this thing for the son. It's coming from love of the wife, the husband to the wife. It's only about good stuff, right? Only about good stuff. So, what do you want to say? He's saying here the father has a concern that the son will have be negatively impacted from a health point of view, either the son or his grandson, negatively impacted from a health point of view, and therefore the father has a big concern about it, and the son has to listen to it. You want to put that, let's go back to the context of the house. Does the son have to listen or not listen?
So take it for a limited time period. Let your wife know it's going to be limited 1-2 years. Test it out to placate your father and to give respect. And then make a decision from there, maybe.
Buying a house is not 1-2 years. You just think.
If he's buying it for you, Stam, I don't know. You know, I don't know. It depends on where the hierarchy goes. Al pi kivud avim, I would say.
Al pi kibud aba'em, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it.
No, I'm saying
We don't even have a health issue. It's not even related.
spirit of.
In the spirit of, right.
Say yes.
That's true.
Huh?
That didn't want to say.
I don't know.
Okay, what do you want to say, gentlemen?
The
What if it
rib
does
line
cause
is-
the financial benefit?
Huh?
What if we put the kicker of financial benefit also, where the father says, share the down payment with me and you live in it?
Right, share the down payment with me. Or don't, or I'll cover the whole thing. I'll cover the whole thing. Don't even share it, I'll cover the whole thing.
If you have to share the down payment, are you obligated then?
Right, oh, very nice question. Say your question again, it's a beautiful
Father
question.
says, I want to buy this house, no matter what happens on earth, I want to buy this house, it's a great deal. I need an extra 100K for the down payment, I want you to give it to me, and I want you to live in the house. But the son's wife might not want to live there. Also,
Now it's black and white, now it's black and white. Does the son have the obligation to take from his money? The answer is absolutely not. The answer is absolutely not. So in that case, we talked about it, right? The son doesn't have the obligation to take from his money for his father's wishes, right? That we don't have to do. Good. So that's the thing. Okay, so we're going to hold for now. I want to do some more research on it. We're going to hold for now that we're in a funny space because generally speaking, the father has to respect the son has to respect his father more than his wife, generally speaking. On the other hand, today,
I'm sorry.
today, generally speaking, yes.
No,
On
not
the,
general. I'm asking halakha.
I'm gonna qualify it for you exactly to your point. Today, I feel very strongly and that because we marry young girls, very young, who are just growing and just becoming and just establishing their identities and their sense of self, we have to carefully consider that thing, and we have to be very, very super sensitive to the needs of our young brides. We're not marrying 30-year-olds.
We're not telling
We're
them.
marrying 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old girls who are very, very young, emotionally, in terms of their self-love and self-confidence.
Yeah.
And therefore, the consideration has to be different.
It's hard for the parents because
It's
a lot
hard.
of times they're watching their daughter-in-laws, right? They're very young, also sensitive, but also lack of experience.
That's right.
So they could be giving their son like tough advice, like
Yeah.
not the right thing to do. And now,
Yeah.
again, go back to the old days. You tell your daughter-in-law, you put her on the spot. Like I hear stories from, I used to hear stories from my parents. It wasn't such smooth conversations. This
No.
is what you're doing.
This is what you
Now
do.
go.
Right, and that's exactly the way it
And a
was.
lot of times it was the better decision after the fact.
It may have been,
Yeah.
and it may have been, and it may still be today.
Yes.
But today, our wives are generally, not always, very, very young, emotionally young, young in terms of their own sense of self, and we have to be hypersensitive to that. I hold we have to be hypersensitive. It's not. I don't want to say it's not like it was. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. But that is my opinion today. We have to tell our parents sometimes, Daddy, she's 17, she's 18, Mom, she's 18. I know this isn't exactly right. I know it's not exactly the way my sister would do it, but let's give it some time here. And is that black and white, respecting al-pi, the most rigid constructs of halakha? No. But is that right? I think in today's circumstances, it's much more right than not. To come down and say, that's the story on my 17-year-old wife, on my 18, on my 19-year-old wife, it's much more complicated. Baruch Adonai L'olam Amen V'Amen. Thank you, gentlemen. Great to see everybody.
It differentiates us from the Arabs, right? I mean, that's not always good.